Our nation has been gripped by professional anarchists, violent mobs, arsonists, looters, criminals, rioters, Antifa, and others.
No, he is gripped by that. This country is gripped by outrage over abuse of force. He never mentioned that. He didn't mention the murder. He didn't mention any injustice. He didn't mention the pain. And he didn't mention the hurt. And you know why. That man is the only person elected to represent us all. And yet he looks out only for himself. Always. In all ways. He is a manifestation of all the problems we're dealing with right now. He won't admit the truth. He won't acknowledge the pain that is on these streets. He ducks accountability for the lack of change, and he blames the victim. Dominate them. Stop the movement. Use the military. He's doing it with George Floyd, for so many other young black men who've been in the same position. He's doing it with more than 100,000 preventable deaths, for the 40+ million out of work. Liberty and justice for all. Where? Look around this nation tonight. We search in city after city after city. We're seeing things that we don't want to see, but we're not dealing with why they're happening. Right? All the things that we make manifest in our pledge to the flag, liberty, justice for all. Where? This is not a me thing. It must be a we thing. The majority must stand up for the rights of the minority. That's not just the American way. It's the only way. And that's why this president remains silent on the true story. When he takes to his rabid refuge of Twitter, he says what demagogues in the past have said. He champions those who play to bigotry. He lumps the aggrieved in with outside agitators as thugs. Just like demagogues, he wraps his actions in the might of the military, perverting the mission of our armed forces and, frankly, BSing you over his actual power. He knows he can't use the Insurrection Act unless a governor requests it, unless he can show that they can't protect themselves. He doesn't meet the standard. Nobody's going to ask him for that kind of help because we're better than that. He orchestrated conflict for maximum gain. That's why he's doing this. Visibility. Timing his speech until after police moved in on a peaceful protest he said he was allied with. Then bathed himself in the illusion of holiness, holding up the good book. Open it. Read it. Go inside that church. It's about social justice and catering to the community. Don't ask why. Why does he look to paint his opponents with the stink of anarchists and opportunists who taint what are overwhelmingly lawful protests? Why would he play to that small slice? Let's do it this way. Good. You're right. The left should claim them. Democrats, make your case. But the same goes for you, Republicans, and the right wing. You want to say those are there? The president went out of his way to say, I don't see any right-wing groups there. Good. You want to defend them? Then you own them. And you know what? It makes sense. Not only do officials not agree with what you're saying about these fringe groups being the dominant players, but you want to play teams, that's fine. Because now things start to make sense. Finally, that's why the president says they're good people on both sides on Charlottesville and in Michigan. The answer came today in another one of the demagogues' repertoire. Just propaganda. Listen to this and then we'll go.
And I would also note the president's long history of condemning white supremacy and racism.
He has a history of being attached to discrimination, housing, the Central Park Five, birtherism. This is who he is, and this is not what we need right now. This is going to change because of people like you and me and the man coming up right now, D. Lemon. We will not be let out of this by anybody else.
Are we actually surprised? You're not surprised, are you?
Yes, because I believe in people at some point doing what is right when their office demands it. And I can be consistently disappointed by somebody in his position with the kind of guidance he has around him, saying so many bad things so often.
Guidance?
Who? There are smart people around him who know that he's not supposed to be saying what he said tonight.
Like?
He's got advisors who know better. I know they do.
I'm not surprised by the actions.